Hello, hello. Turkish Films with Daily Chess Analysis, Episode 9. And today's kind of a shorter game, 21 moves. However, it was not instructive. So let's check it out. D4 lead with E6, the Horowitz defense. E4 would transpose maybe into like some French stuff. And I don't play E4, so I just play C5 or C4, pretending that he played D5 the first move. And we transpose, so it's all good. I go for Catalan stuff, right? Getting this strong bishop. And he played H6, which is an inaccuracy, as you might have guessed. It just wastes time. And maybe his reasoning was he didn't want me to pin him here, right? That's a reason. It's just not as important as other stuff that needs to happen in the position. And so here, I kind of just pretended that he played bishop E7. So that way, when he played it, it looks like he wasted time with H6, which he did. And the way I'd play against bishop E7 is to play queen C2. Although, I can just play bishop G2 now. It's not an issue. Interesting, the differences between those. He played C6. Bishop G2 is normal. Knight BD7, absolutely normal. Castles is developing. Bishop D6. Now, I think that bishop E7 is better. And the reason is because these two pawns here can be forked if that pawn goes there, right? So there's an added threat after E4. Normally E4 I can just take here, or I kick the knight away, but now it comes with a fork. So I prefer his bishop be on E7. Also now this B5 push doesn't work because of C5. So I don't know, bishop D6 seems a little bit unnecessary. Knight B to D2, preparing E4. And rook B8, which in the game you can hear I pretty much go crazy. And I'm thinking about playing A4 to stop his B5 push. His B5 push is already a bad idea. It loses time after C5. And then he has, weak C pawn here. My knight can hop in here and attack that. But also he's playing on the edge of the board. And his king's in the center. And see, the computer recommends to castle. Rook B8 is just met by E4. A very strong idea. Your king's in the center. And so I'm going to open the center and your king's going to be very upset there. And you can't, just castle now because there's this threat of forking your pieces. After D4, knight E4, bishop E7. And you can hear I'm actually a little bit shocked when he played this move because he brought his bishop out to D6 and then put it back to E7. And he played H6 and he played rook B8. So he's just wasting so much time and all my pieces are really good. Basically, it's like, here, you get 4 free moves. Which moves do you want? And honestly, my move would be D4, C4, G3, bishop D2. And all my moves are felt. These are the 4 moves. I have a very strong presence in the center. I'm cutting across the entire field, right? What does he have for it? Control of that square, a bishop that looks like only moved once, and a rook with no hope. Now, I'm not going to totally bash rook B8. It does get off this diagonal, but there's just better ways to deal with the problem. And so here, since he left this diagonal, I took the diagonal, attacking the rook. And here, his move and the computer agree, at least partially, to just giving up the rook. Just giving up the exchange. Apparently it costs him too much to keep the exchange. With a move like rook to A8, he's wasted so much time and my pieces are on such good squares. And I don't have another recommendation to give him. And here, it's not that I went wrong, because this is still an excellent move. As per the computer, that's not my opinion. But I actually wanted to play A3. In the game, I talk about playing rook to F D1, but not liking that he has his bishop check. So A4 is really great. I have a 4 to 3 on this side of the board, so pushing my majority is a great idea. I just thought this move is also good. It lines up with the queen. Computer agrees that it's good. It's just not as good as A3, which is really crazy that this pawn move, A3, is a stronger move than developing a rook to the center or lining up with the queen. Kind of funny. Knight B to D7. And here again, I start to go wrong a little bit. So in the game, I was saying I want to kind of freeze his queenside stuff, which maybe is not the right goal. He's already wasted so much time, right? He brought his knight out, brought his knight here, and then had to bring it back. So I thought, I want to freeze his queenside majority because I didn't like moves like this, which kind of seemed to complicate things a little bit. So I wanted to freeze this pawn, and the way I thought to do that was by having this tactic. There's a check, and it would at least my bishop. But I noticed that my bishop isn't unleashed right now, so I decided to unleash my bishop by playing this move. And it's not like it's a bad move, just it doesn't serve the needs of the position. I have a majority over here, 4-3, push the majority. Also with a3, I let my other rook into the game without tempo losses to the bishop. So you can see it's just not as good. It stops one pawn move, but it's not a move that I want. That's really that important anyway. Queen a5, threatening to win a pawn here, and threatening to win a pawn here. And here I did go wrong. I never really considered taking this knight. I just thought my knight's pretty good, so why would I take his knight? But the computer recommends taking here. It's with check. He has to take back. Then I can take here if I want to. I'm just up the exchange for seemingly nothing. After he takes back, which he has to, I played a3. And I'm actually going to stand by a3. I like the move, even though the computer says knight to d2 is better. And I'm not like blundering here or anything, right? It's still a fine move. It's just not as good as it could be. But I like the move a3. Stops this, which allows my rook to come in the game. It's kind of like his h6 move, but his h6 move didn't do anything, where mine allows a development of a piece. And he put his queen back, which didn't make any sense to me. I brought my other rook in the game first. I could have swore I pushed b4 first, but that's fine. Rook after e1. Right, getting more pieces in the game. After I played a3, it's justified. But again, here, I have to look at what his advantages are, and I have to mitigate those. So his advantage right now, if he has any, is the two bishops. Because material is I have, two rooks. The two bishops are the strongest thing against a rook. So I should take away one of the bishops. And I can effectively do that by knight c5. If he wants to avoid losing one of the bishops, either by taking or me taking, his bishop has to go back on one of these squares. And the bishop does not want to go to those squares. So I'll just have a really imposing knight on c5. It'll be a great piece there. Instead, I developed my rook. Not really. The reason this is good and not great is because it's not addressing his advantages. And it's not helping my queen side to develop, right? b6, fine move. And now I play b4. Great move. Activating. After he played a queenside move, I was like, oh, I should play on the queen side. b5 is a blunder, but my move's pretty bad too. I realized that this pawn was hanging. After a while, actually, I was thinking about playing this move, which is terrific. Sorry, horrific. I capture the pawn, which it's a hanging pawn. But I missed that he could play knight to d5. And I'm still super winning, but why would I let him have such a brilliant knight here? There's just no reason to let him have such a brilliant knight there. So better would have been to take here first. And after he takes, then taking. There's no knight coming here. Okay, but he played queen to b6, right, which lines up against the pawn. Yeah. And so here, taking is good. He takes back, and I take here. And I'm happy because I have a threat against the bishop, so he can't take this pawn. And then I've been dominating the whole game. I'm just up 2 pawns now, that one and that one. So the game's over. It was kind of a little bit over a while ago. After b5 especially, it's over because he's just down pawns now as well. But my structure was really strong. His bishops weren't playing chess. This bishop just moved here. And this bishop went out and back. So not great for the bishops. They weren't super happy the whole time. Where my bishops were able to, put in work over here, was controlling the diagonal the whole time. So it's just a difference in the activity of the pieces. And yeah, at the end of the game, I don't know why I played rook d8 and then resigned. Last game as well that I played, my opponent, seemingly for no reason, blunders a piece or just lets go of a piece and then resigns after that. That's very confusing to me. Why would you let go of the piece and then resign instead of letting go of a piece, waiting for me to take it, then resigning? Or resigning before you let go of a piece? It doesn't make a lot of sense. So look at the game here. This is pretty much the curve that I want to see. Right? A slow developing thing. I don't want him to blunder. I want him to just make slow inaccuracies. Me make good moves. And over time, my advantage goes up. Here it started to go down a little bit because I was playing good moves, not great moves. But overall, 92.2%. And for such a short game, I'm fine with that. Happy look, I made no blunders, no mistakes. I made an inaccuracy and 5 good moves. Now my intention, if we go over to details here, you can see my best move percentage here was 42.9%. And what I'm really aiming for is a 50% or higher best move percentage. And I think that's definitely reasonable. You can see I'm fairly close here. But my average difference is pretty low, 0.17, which is pretty nice. So here's the moves, each one that I did. Queen's Gambit declined. Yeah, h6 move leaves the book, no doubt about that. Leaves me with a 0.68 score. And honestly, the game could have gone either way, but he just wasn't really playing. He just wasn't really playing, I guess, the most precise moves. Yeah, so the main lessons, I guess, for this game is when they play a slow move like h6, instead of panicking and, freaking out and playing, e4 or something crazy, just play like normal. He wasted time, and that time is going to show eventually. In this case, I didn't take a small optimization I could have. But yeah, just play normally. And you can see all the moves that I wanted to make anyway. These moves are all just fine. This is what I was going to play, whether he played h6 or bishop e7. I'm just playing the same stuff. And it works out. He was making some bad moves. And here, rook a d1. I don't want to bag on this move too much. But, 4-3. So this move is a move I want to play, and it allows other moves. By playing other moves like rook a1, I still can't play rook fe1. a3 is a dual purpose move. I'm not saying rook a1 is bad, it's just a3 is better. And again, 95. This move moves one piece and hopes for a tactic. a3 gets my majority moving and lets my piece into the attack. So play a3. Don't worry that it's a small pawn move. It's what it represents. What it represents is a queenside expansion and rooks to the center. So I got caught up on the look of the move too much. I don't know why that's so bad. And a3, I'm going to defend a3. a3 is a good move. And knight c5, again, addressing my opponent's advantages. Everything else is fine. Here's just a tactic that not a tactic necessarily. This is just positional. That he can put his knight on e5. I forgot that he didn't have to take back or react. Okay, kind of a short game. Not the most interesting games ever, but a chess game nonetheless. So thank you all for watching so much. This has been Turkish Films with Daily Chess Analysis, Episode 9. Adios and stay Turkish.